Hi guys, my name is Jocelyn Weber-Stoker, and my Module 4 video is going to be a little strange because I work at a Korean university, so I don't really have a business administration where I can have a professional meeting to discuss the listed requirements for this assignment. The professor said I should just tell you a little bit about why I can't do the meeting instead. So we have a university president and some boards of Korean folk, but as you guys maybe have noticed from my assignments, I talk a lot about hierarchy being very important in Korea and how my students feel uncomfortable when I'm kind of on the same level as them. They want me to be one step higher than them. Like, hierarchy and the relationship socially is really important here. And so with me and my superiors, I need to interact with them in a certain way. And I definitely should not go and ask for a meeting with the Korean staff. It's just not done. And especially not in a way where I'm questioning our performance. In Korea, performance data is just not shared or made public. There's kind of a cultural idea that anything less than perfect shouldn't be broadcast, that it's kind of a failure and you'll lose face if you say anything other than we're perfect. So all the performance data is all dealt with behind closed doors, and those people are, like, you know, signed to secrecy, and you just can't find that data anywhere. So there's no talk about, like, how can we improve? Within my department, though, my department is the foreign language department, and I have a head teacher who's responsible for maybe 10 other professors, and then there is a head of department, and the head of department has, like, monthly meetings with the head teachers to just kind of touch base and see what's going on, make sure there's nothing that needs to be discussed, and if there is anything, then they discuss what to do about it. So I do think we have a lot of support. If I have any questions or problems, I can go to the head teacher and say, I'm not quite sure how to handle this, or I'd like to suggest this improvement to the curriculum. I think that these are kind of the same classes and maybe we should add another class. You know, they do definitely listen to our ideas, and our staff is made up of 70 or 80 professors that all have masters or doctorates, so everybody's kind of involved in research and really into continuous improvement. So there's a lot of ideas, and I think it's kind of a matter of being overwhelmed sometimes. So they have us filter it through the head teachers, and then the head teachers will collect a lot of ideas that they think are good or that are the same, that come up over and over, and then make committees that kind of look at how to approach this topic and how we can improve. And there definitely are meetings where we are told, oh, okay, you guys have been telling us this, and here's how we're responding and what we think we should do about it to improve. And there's a kind of suggested practices. Nobody's really held accountable. We have a lot of autonomy. We're given a textbook and said, here's the chapters you need to teach, and at the end there's a standardized listening test that everybody, all the students take, and we don't know what the questions are. So obviously if your students all get a 50%, then the head teacher is going to be looking at you going, why didn't you teach your students the required material? So there is a little bit of responsiveness for the student learning in the standardized test at the end, but how we teach and how we go about covering that material, the activities we use, what we choose to focus on, it's all really up to us. And there's an office full of teachers that are all teaching the same classes. So I can go to the office and say, hey guys, you know, chapter 6, I'm having trouble with the students being able to practice this. Nobody's seeming to get it. And there's a bunch of people who say, oh, this is what I did. I ran into that problem. And if there really is a huge problem with everybody having the same problem, we go to the head teacher and they'll make a committee and have ideas for possible solutions. And, you know, I think it is really well organized, and we have a lot of support within our department, but our department is really isolated because we are all foreigners, and the Koreans just kind of leave us alone because they don't really understand what we're doing or why. It's just they recognize we're Western culture and they have a different way of doing things in their Korean classes, and, you know, we kind of look at their Korean classes and go, what are they doing? But, you know, I'm sure they do the same thing for us, but they just leave us to our own devices and trust that all the head teachers are taking care to make sure that the professors under them are have good ethics, you know, with the professional standards that we were supposed to reference. The good ethics and professional norms, that's definitely a huge one for our university, making sure that everybody just is doing the best they can and has the genuine needs of the students in mind. And I think also we really develop our own curriculums in a lot of ways. So the standard number 4 with curriculum instruction and assessment, we really develop our own curriculums. We're told that we need to do a speaking test. We're told that the students need to give 2 oral presentations and that they will be doing the standardized listening test, but we can kind of choose how to style those presentations. I can choose to give them a topic, I can choose how long it is, I can choose the rubric for how I'm going to assess them. So all of that is really up to us, and we can ask for help, and there's a lot of people who are willing to give us ideas and say, this is what I use and here's why. So I do think we have a lot of support in the university, just because so many of us are teaching the same classes that we all run into the same problems, and they all know everybody starts somewhere. So I think that there's a really good sort of relationship system with mentors. But you have to be willing to speak out and say, hey guys, I'm not sure what to do here. So in a way, it's kind of up to you to make a situation where you're getting help. As far as accreditation, that's all handled by a board in the university, and that's all done really behind closed doors. So the Korean government has a board that comes and deals with the accreditation, and they have an audit, and they go through with the different departments what they're supposed to be doing, and sometimes look at the classes, and that's all handled by a department. And we're told, okay, you guys did well in the audit, but here's what you need to do to make sure everybody's doing this. And we just say, okay, yes. So the leadership style in the school is definitely authoritarian in a way, because if they tell us something needs to be done, you just say yes, yes, like you want to keep your job, so you say, okay, yes, I'll do it that way, of course. But within our department, we have kind of a more democratic system set up, where if we have any kind of problem or concern, then the head teachers will bring it to the attention of our head of department. And like with our presentation class, we had a textbook where there were no presentation skills taught. It was all this grammar and sentence structure. So we ended up requesting a new textbook from the head of department, and the next semester we had a new textbook that was a keynote textbook using TED Talks and teaching presentation skills to the students directly. Make eye contact and use your hands when you're talking, and it was exactly what we wanted. So I definitely think that there is responsiveness when we ask for something. So anyway, I hope you guys understand a little bit more about the Korean education system and accreditation. I'll post a link for the university accreditation standards. It's a lot different than the CASES standards. It's a lot about student enrollment and the education level of the professors and what kind of research they're doing, and how the university is creating relationships with the businesses, how the students are, student teaching at the schools, and the nursing students are assisting in the hospitals and that kind of stuff. So anyway, bye, thanks.